stood at the front of the room by a shiny black box, and then I looked down. In the shiny black box I saw my father, cushioned and nestled tight amidst silken pillows of seashell pink, eyes closed and half a smile on his face. He looked like he was sleeping to the flights of angels and the lullaby of the heavens. My mother handed me a rose as red as bleeding hearts and told me to place it with him. I did as I was told, somber and silent. My mother cried and held my hand. As she bent down to kiss his face, I stood on tiptoe and kissed it too, even though he felt like wax. "Mommy," I said, "why is Daddy sleeping?" "He's not," she whispered, and stroked my hair. At the age of 7, I knew, of course, what death was. I had no idea, though, that it was forever. I didn't know that was the last time I would ever see my daddy. At the burial site, my mother took one rose from the flower spray crowning the lid and held it close to her heart. I looked on as they lowered the box containing my daddy into the ground, never again to be seen by the sun. Meanwhile, the wind picked up, and as I looked back to where strange men were tossing dirt down that deep and dark hole, the wind blew all around, turning my hair into a halo. It blew so wild and untamed. Leaves swirled up from the ground to dance with it in the air. I tried to glimpse it one last time, that black box in which my daddy was locked, but my aunt put her arm around me and shook her head. It's been 11 years since I saw his face, 11 years since I heard his voice and felt his warmth and beating heart. "Daddy," I had once asked him. "Yes, sweetie," he answered. "Will you live to see me graduate high school?" "Yes, honey." "Will you live to see me graduate college?" "Yes." "Promise?" He looked up from his dishes, hand scrubbing away at a plate. "I promise." There was so much I still hadn't learned, so much I had lost. You could have taught me more about music, but you never got the chance. I could have learned how to be more confident, more strong, more brave, and more wise. Even though you were quiet, you were strong. You never got to see me walk across the field that day to accept my diploma. You never got to accompany me on my college tours or hug me goodbye on my first day of college. You won't get to see me graduate from Moravian because you never kept your promise. It was hard not to resent you. It was hard not to feel the unfairness of it all. Why was it that my always hard-working mother was the one who had to lose her husband, her best friend, for over 30 years? The last words you said to me the night before you died were, "Good night, Sarah. I love you." The next morning, I woke to your alarm blaring and my mom screaming her name. I can still see their faces with such clarity. My mother, my minister, my great aunt, and my grandmother, all sitting in the living room with tense expressions and red-rimmed eyes. Mom took my hand and led me into her bedroom. I asked, "What's going on? Where's Daddy? I have stuff to give him." My mom took a deep breath and said, "Sarah, Daddy's not coming back." "He's dead, isn't he?" I said, quite calmly. That was when she let out the most heartbreaking, soul-wrenching, grief-filled cry I had ever heard. I finally went back to that hill overlooking the city and knelt once again by his side. I shivered in the chilly wind that blew the same way it did that day. I paused and gazed upon that light gray stone, lit by the sun, highlighting the engraving, "Daddy, Michael A. Widener, March 17, 1952. July 15th, 2004. And I swear I felt the same wind blow as it blew that day. I heard music in the wind and music at his grave. I heard his voice singing his last lullaby, and I knew everything was going to be okay. I hugged my mother and kissed his headstone. My daddy lies in a shiny black box. He is not dead, he does not sleep. He is an angel in the heavenly hosts, and I know he is all around me. And as the wind blows, I hear his voice and laughter. I see his smile and kind brown eyes. I hear his last lullaby and feel his warm embrace. And all the while, the wind continues to blow.